Shut up and sit down.
Greetings, my fellow Earth travelers, and welcome back to All the Mod 6. How's everybody doing today? So, guys, last time we worked on resourceful bees, and I done do the thing off of the cams. I started to make homes for all the bees, and I ain't even gonna lie, I straight up hate it. Do not like it in the slightest. I do not like it, Sam I am. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like it with a honey bin. I do not like it with a spider bin. No, that's just dumb. Yeah, no, this thing's going to get torn down. But I like the concept of having the individual cells for each bee type and a little hive and such in there. So like this is the zombie. So we've got the flesh walls, which we got out of the nether. And then of course all the plants it needs. We've got the mason bees with the brick walls. And the regular old vanilla Minecraft bees with the honey walls, and the spider bees with kind of a spidery face looking wall, and bone bees obviously. And I like how you can tell, you know, immediately what each bee type is. That's obviously a sandy bee. This is our RGBs, lots of bright color. This is our stony bees. I did find some of those. Boy howdy, did I have to go a long way to get those. Those were way down in here. These were where I found the mountains over in here. So yeah, I had to go, you know, looked all over here for mountains last time. You know, said this time I'm just going to head this direction, hit a landmass and started wandering. And yeah, we finally found some stony bees. Took forever. So we got guardians, the lumber bees, and the magma bees. Magma. And I have so much honey, it is redonkulous. I have, I think, 4.5 more of these in storage, and as you can see, these are all full. So I've been writing everything into storage drawers here. As you know, I've got a bunch of centrifuges down below, I'll show you in a second, that are processing the honeycombs and spitting them back up here, with of course the exception of the RGB honeycomb, which does not get processed, and it's just sitting up here, and I've got 1,500 of them, almost 1,600 sitting there. And things like glowstone, we are producing crazy amounts of glowstone. And stone and sand and all that stuff. So that's nice. Come down here, you can kind of see what I've done a little bit. Like I said, all this is going to be torn down because I just don't like the way it looks as a whole. I like the individual pods, but I don't like the combined whole pod. So this is going to get redone. But you can see each of the different hives up there with our redstone clock. And this is just the setup we had in the barn, right? And they're back to back. And they're all being piped out using our Mekanism, you know, these logistical transporters, dumping into this barrel right here, which is for overflow. That is being sucked out and sent down into these 4 centrifuges, and I could probably get away with 2, but I wasn't real sure, and I went ahead and built 4. You can see we are pulling power directly from the house over here. This is that line that leads over to the, you know, from the house over here to the barn over there, and I just tapped into that to get us some power because these don't take that much power. So it's processing our honeycombs. Then it is sending the output right here up into a storage drawer controller, or right there, which is then, you know, routing all the items into the drawers above us. For all the honey, we're pulling that out below us here, and that is going up here into those honey containers. But like I said, I've got so many. You see, I've had to do some drawer upgrades already. So we can see, oh, you're not going to see it on honey. You're going to see it in, if I do tank. Yeah, all 5 of those completely full. That one is also halfway full. So as you can see, we have a lot of honey, which, yeah, way more than we're ever going to need, I think. At least we can go ahead and fill that guy up. Didn't take but just a second. And now we're full again. The cool thing is these guys don't stop producing just because, you know, they're backed up on honey, it seems. Well, I just sucked some out, so it'll refill the pipe again. But yeah, they still seem to produce anyway, which is kind of cool. When we walked by there, we picked up some honeycombs, because of our magnet here. So we'll put those into the system, let them be processed. So anyway, we got all that going. I did want to do one thing. Well, we're going to tear all this down. I was going to connect this to our RF system just so we'd have access to these drawers from in the house or the barn. But yeah, I don't know that it's worth it since I'm going to tear it all down anyway. Anyway, we're going to forget that even exists, and hopefully it will look better next time we come back after I've had spent some time on it. I also want to do something with this. You know, when we have this elemental craft here and we have a little bit in the house, I want to move what's in the house out here and just turn this into an elemental craft space. I'm going to have to cut down a few trees, maybe build another little structure here for the, you know, the furnace and the blast furnace and all that stuff. But I want to go ahead and work on that some as well, but not today. Oops, I wanted to go to the barn. Let's go to the barn. Okay, we're here in the barn, and yeah, as you can see, I have cleaned it up quite a bit. I did go ahead and leave the cyclic machines in here because I think we're going to start putting newer machines in here just because the house is getting a little bit cluttered. And this is a decent spot for those types of machines. I can actually go ahead and open the door now that we don't have bees so that animals can come in. I'm going to go do that here in a little bit. So what I want to work on today, guys, is we're going to do some industrial foregoing because this mod takes a little while to get into. The earlier you start it, the better. So to get going in this mod, you're going to have to make plastic. To make plastic, you have to make, not you matter, but you need to make this dry rubber. To make the dry rubber, you need to make the tiny rubber. To make the tiny rubber, you need to cook it. Or you need to process it from a latex processing unit, right? To make the latex processing unit, we need latex. To get latex, it's just a rabbit hole, right? We need a fluid extractor. So this guy's not terrible, though they have updated the mod and it does require a new machine that I have not had to make before. Not a machine, but a machine frame called a pity machine frame. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so we need to make this pity frame. To do that, it's just redstone in a block form. We need some iron ingots and some logs. Super easy peasy lemon squeezy. Go ahead, now we are going to need a gold pressure plate. And we're going to need a piston. No problemo. And there we go, fluid extractor. Okay, now if we place this guy down, you will see it looks pretty plain and simple until you get to this side. And then you see the where chop your fingers off. So we're going to take a Zirconia log, just because that's the log we have the most of. And I'm going to pop it down right here in front of the where-wheres. And you can see this counting down, and this is counting up. This is extracting latex from this log, and you can see it's actually breaking the log. Now, this does not require power to work. You can see it is working. That green bar is dropping with no power at all. It is doing its thing, doing its mojo. It can be used without power. However, if you give it power, it do work better. All right, got some very basic infrastructure here. Basically just ran a power line down. And I want to go ahead and get this guy, I think. All right, well, worst case scenario, we just bust through the wall. There you go. Take that, sucker. Now that should be the right direction. It is. So now that this guy has power, he'll actually run a little bit faster, mo better, and we'll get those logs chopped up. Now, once he breaks this log, it's going to disappear. So we need a way to place a new log. So we want to get, if we can, and I don't know if they've changed any recipes or anything, we should be able to get a block placer. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. Oh, we are going to need the plastic to do it. So we could use this one from Cyclic, which ain't all that bad. Kind of want to stay in within the same mod, but this will at least get us going, right? We can always switch it out later. Placer, oh, andesite. Man, andesite is a pain in this pack. I cannot believe I'm going to actually have to craft some flippin' diorite. That is redonkulous. There we go. we go, block placer. So we should be able to put this guy facing the downwards. Actually, I should have maybe gone over here, get up against this wall, place that down like so. Good. That is correct. And then we should be able to take, say, a stack of Zelkovia. We just say always on. So we put a block in there and it auto places it there. So load it up with 64. When that guy breaks, he's just going to magically drop another block in there. Right now, we're up to 73 millibuckets. This does take a hot minute. Once this guy finishes, gets up to enough latex, we then need to get back into industrial foregoing. And we're going to need a latex processing unit. So for that, we are going to need yet another pity machine. And we're going to need a bucket of latex. So we're going to have to get at least 1,000 millibuckets of latex before we can proceed any farther. All right, so we've got our bucket of latex, a little bit more. And I've reworked the setup so that we can get 4 of these guys around the log. The log's actually in the middle right there. You can't even see him. Got the placer here. We got a hooper hopper and a drawer sitting up here that's just loading logs into him. But let's go ahead and get us a bucket of latex. And we can now go ahead and make latex processing a unit. And we're going to need some water. Get a little bit of water here. And we'll get that guy going. No problemo. And we're going to drop him right there. Now we need to get that latex into him, which means I need another pipe. So glad that we ran our refined storage terminal out here. It really does make all the difference in the world. So we don't need you, and we don't need you, because we're pulling out of the top, and we'll just set you to input, even though we don't necessarily need to. We're going to anyway. And we see the latex is coming in slowly but surely. He has power, and then we need to get him some water. So he does need water. Let's go ahead and the very best way to make water in any pack, if it is in the pack, is the kitchen sink. So we are going to need to make some terracotta. So I'm going to have to go cook us some clay. All right, we got our terracotta. I think we're still going to be short water. I think I had another one up here though. So let's go ahead and do that. Bingo, bango, bongo. And we're going to need a pipe. Yet another pipe. And we'll just put that right there. We will connect that like so. We will disconnect this. Set that to output, that to input, and all the waters. Now he's starting to produce. Perfect. And we're getting the tiny dry rubber. So he's just turning that latex into tiny dry rubber for us. Awesome. So if I pull one of those out and we do a U on it, we can see the use is if you put them in a 3x3 grid, crafting grid, you get the dry rubber. So that tells us the next thing we have to do is process these in a 3x3 crafting grid. And then there's about 82,643 ways we can do that. Okay, and taking a look at the options in this pack, I think the easiest way is probably going to be just the old RF Tools crafter. Tier 1 will do us just fine, so we're going to make up one of them bad boys. We are going to need some blue dye to make that machine frame, and we're seriously short a crafting table. Really? Right, okay game, okay. If you say so. So we're just going to pop that guy down there. He does take a little bit of power, so we're putting him on the power line. We are going to need to connect this guy up to this guy to get those tiny dry rubber from one to the other. So we'll need a logistical, if I spell things properly, transporter, since that is an item, not a fluid. Everything we've dealt with thus far is fluid. Now we're going into the world of items. So we'll set this to output, and we don't really need to set him to input, but we will anyway. And you can see he is getting the tiny dry rubber. This box here with the cyan frame around it is the input. So we need to define a recipe. We're going to come up here and click on recipe, and we're going to say a 3x3 grid, it will show you the output. And let's see, all items and input slots are consumed. That is correct. Now this is variable. You can say keep one item of every slot. You can, come up with different ways to do this. This option is results will go into the output buffer, which is down here in yellow. This will say throw it back in the input buffer, which is up here if you need to recraft to something else, which would be your second recipe here. So there's different ways of doing that. We want everything to go into the output buffer. That'd be just fine. Like I said, this is a super simple crafting recipe. So we're going to apply. That says it now knows how to make dry rubber, and you can see it has in fact already done that. So as it gets 9, we're up to 6, but once it gets to 9, it'll craft another one and dump it down here. Now we need to, if we go ahead and take that out of there and we do a U on it, we can see that the next step is to cook it, which is going to turn it into plastic. So now we need a furnace. All right, we've got enough dry rubber now because I want to go ahead and make the resourceful furnace from Industrial Foregoing because we're sticking with that mod. Went ahead and made us up a quick iron furnace to cook these up with old traditional coal and turn them into plastic. All right, so we don't need that anymore. We can go ahead and put him away. And we need to make this resourceful furnace. We're going to need a gold gear. And I've already made us a pity machine frame. And that should get us with our 4 pieces of plastic. So we should be able to drop this guy right here like so. He does take power. Now he is going to be able to cook up 3 things at a time, which is way more than this is going to need because it doesn't output that anywhere near that fast. Let's get a logistical transporter because we are moving items, and we're going to move items from here to here like a so. So as this guy produces that rubber, it will come over here and be cooked. Now it is going to produce a byproduct of essence, and essence is kind of the liquefacted form of experience like you would get out of a traditional furnace. So if we use a pipe and a tank, which we have an empty one from our latex, we should be able to extract that essence, which is going to be here, and we want to extract that to the top. Enabled, push, pull, disabled. Ooh, it's got the push function now. It didn't used to. I wonder if we can do that without a pipe. Let's try. So if we come in here and say push, and then no action on the rest, will that get us what we want? Maybe. All right, now if we grab a bin, we have some empty bins here, and another, ooh, yeah, because we have we might not even need this anymore. That would be cool. Ooh, it cooked us a piece of plastic. Let's see if this works. If I put that there with no cables between, and I come to orange, and I say output, and I say push, it does push. Perfect. Oh, and we see that essence did go up here, so we might not even need this anymore. That may be a thing. We might be able to just go here, and here, and here. And then tell this guy to input, we want to pull from this side. Yeah. And then output is a push to that side. That's a nice new feature. I like that feature. And then a push to that side for the essence. Yeah, that's super handy new feature. Hopefully it will be able to pull from this machine. We'll see. So I've been letting this run for quite some time. I just went off and did a whole bunch of mining down in the mining pits. Down yonder over there, and brought back thousands and thousands of resources, crystals and ingots and ore and all the things. Anyway, processed all that up, was still bored, so came up here and created a cactus farm because we're gonna need some green dye later. And then I remembered we have RGBs, so we already have green dye, so yay for after the words thinking. Anyway, And I was still bored and still hadn't produced enough latex yet. So I went ahead and made some Mekanism. What do you call these? Wind generators. There you go. There's words in my mouth. So I went ahead and made those things. They're very easy to make, but they do require quite a bit of gold. And, now we have plenty of gold. So you can just, let's see, we'll do mech wind. And you see these just, those take quite a bit of gold. You need several of those. You got to make that coil, which takes yet another one. You need a little bit of steel. We've done all this before, so not a big deal. Went ahead and made 4 of those guys and cabled them into the top of the barn here and just brought the line down over here and dropped it into a power cube, which is, that is not a power cube. That is a power cube, holding 6.4 million FE. And then just feeding it into our system. Now this system is connected to the other system in the house. They both have a 6.4 million RF cube on them. So we in essence have 12.8, but that is running in parallel, not in series. So, but it should keep our system powered for quite some time. Anyway, we're going to take out what we got here. We're going to drop it in here. And what we want to get to is a machine called a material stonework factory, which is an awesome little tool, but it is a bit pricey. It requires some things that are not standard, such as pink slime. Well, to make pink slime, you need liquid pink slime. To make liquid pink slime, you keep going backwards and backwards. It comes from mob slaughter factory. Well, mob slaughter factories work by killing mobs, and it works best. You get more pink slime by killing, sorry to say, guys, those guys. Or those guys. Any passive mob. So pigs and sheeps and chickens and cows, oh my. Well, in order to breed those guys, you need wheat. So we're going to get into some wheat production today. Did this duplicate? I could have swore we pulled those out. Whoa. Is it only stacking to 64? That's not right. That's not right at all. Hold up. I thought there was only 64 in there. I'm like, man, it's been on 64 a really long time. This bin holds 4,096, but this is only letting it stack to 64. Interesting. Huh. There's a glitch in the matrix. Well, we'll pull those out and let it keep on trucking. Okay, so we have a whole lot more plastic than I thought we did. Interesting. That means I can go ahead and just... I was being careful on how much liquid latex we pulled out because we are going to need some later. I'm going to go ahead and break this. Yep, that's going to happen right now. And we're going to pump all of that into here. Yeah. So if we look at industrial foregoing, we need to make some wheat. We can do that with the industrial foregoing using a plant gatherer and a plant sower. Now I've already no, I didn't bite anything. I built the little bits and bobs like the gold gears and the iron axes and all that. So we should just be able to put these in here and pull out the machines. So I built the pistons and the pity machine frames and all that. We've done most of this stuff before. Not a big deal. All right, so we got a gatherer and a sower. Now we're going to need a range card because these guys are pitiful of their own accord, assuming they haven't updated them. Well, they have updated the mod, but assuming they haven't updated the range, the de facto range, if we do show working area. Yep. See that one little block right there? That's it. That's all it will process is one tiny sad little block. And if we look at this guy... show working area, one tiny sad little block. We do not want to grow one piece of wheat. We wish to grow an entire big farm full of delicious wheat for the animals. To do that, we are going to need to put in some range upgrades, some of these guys here. They come in tiers. Each tier gives you more distance. You can see extra range, plus 11, plus 12, plus 5, whatever range you want to go with. We want to go with the big mamma jamba. We should have all the pieces parts for that. And we're going to need 2. We're going to need 1 for each machine. Now, in order to make these, we're going to need yet another machine, the dissolution chamber. And should have all the pieces parts for that. This does require a diamond gear, so it is starting to get a little bit pricey. We're going to put that guy right there. He's going to load up with the power because he does need the go-go juice. And to make this guy, we are going to need 4 thus 8 emeralds, 2 glass, and so 8 emeralds, 4 glass, 4 redstone. Perfect. All right, and we need half in there. Oh, you can only put 1 at a time? Well, crappers. It's going to be a pain in the butt. All right, wrap that around, and we are going to need a bucket of latex. So, bucket me up. And we pop that in, and he is processificating. Boom. Oh no, arrange upgrado. So let's go ahead and make another one. Boom, and a bam. So now we will see this guy. If we drop the range upgrade in and tell it to show the area, you can see that it is significantly larger than it was before. I'll go out here. I've built a little spot for the farm to go, obviously back behind the barn because that just makes sense. We're going to put everything down in here. And we're going to need 2 pieces to get this material stonework factory. We're going to need a farm of wheat, and then we're going to need an animal slaughtery. And I think we're going to put the animal slaughtery over here, and I think we're going to put the farm of wheat here. Now, I can't remember. Did you just fall out of a tree? I swear it looked like you came out of the sky, homie. Are you even going to make it to me? You struggle busting. Now you did. All right, so we need to place this guy. And I don't remember how big it is with the machine. Let's see, we go that way. Make sure the little grindy bits are going out towards where you want to harvest your material. Pop the range upgrade in, say show working area. We can see that it does come out to here. We would need to clear off that. And actually this comes out pretty far too. That's not bad though. Actually might move him over a couple more blocks. All right, let me get these placed in, and then I will show you once we're done. So we got a huge wheat field going on over here. Got it set up with our planter right here doing its job, and we've got pipes and stuff hidden behind these trap doors. I did go ahead, since we have farming for blockheads in this pack, you can see you can craft these fertilizers, and one of them prevents trampling, one of them speeds up growth, and one of them increases your output, and they're pretty cheap. So like the prevent trampling is just yellow dye with a little bit of gold and some dirt and a seed. So I went ahead and made this row right here all the way down, with the exception of this last one because I didn't produce enough. Prevents trampling, so I can jump on these all I want and they won't get trampled, because you know, when I come down off of this block, or mobs come down off of this block, they could trample this row of crops. So that'll prevent that from happening. And I went ahead and put out here, you can see these little green flecks. That is the green fertilizer, which increases crop output, and that's just green dye. Same recipe with green dye. And then I put a little bit of the, you see the red speckles over here. That is the red fertilizer, and guess what? It uses red dye. Easy enough. Had some beets, so we just marked up some beets and turned it in dye, and actually it just finished filling in the entire farm. So right now the entire farm is completely filled in with wheats, and we've got water sources hidden under these carpet blocks. Yeah, you can see the blue, and yes, I know you can waterlog slabs and whatnot, but I've got light under here, and I don't want the light blocked. So these will continue growing at night with the, actually all of them will continue growing at night. Now remember I told you I had to terraform this hill to build the barn. So what I did was just use the space underneath. You can kind of see back over here where, it was somewhat, the hill used to be. And you see all the cobblestone I put in to build the new hill. So the old hill ended here and the new hill ends over there. So I just used all this space, and right here is our gatherer, and you can see it gathering crops, and they just come out through these logistical transporters into 2 storage drawers. I'm using these because they're super easy, super cheap, and you can lock them. You see the little key lock up here at the top tells you these drawers have been locked. Therefore, this drawer can only ever hold seeds. This drawer can only ever hold wheat. So what that does is when this guy goes empty, wheat doesn't accidentally go in here and clog up the system. As you can see, it's bounces from 1 to 0, and then the seeds continue on down the path down here, and they head down to our sower, which is down here at the end, right in the middle of the crop farm, and it pushes the seeds back up into the ground at that big radius we looked at before, so it's just constantly being fed seeds to refill the system. Now there is a byproduct of gathering crops, this tank right here, and so I've got it pulling out and coming down into this tank, and that is of course sludge. So we will work on processing this probably later. So you will need 1, 2, 3 connections to this guy, to the plant gatherer. You need a power, an output of some kind to get whatever crops you're growing out of it, and a sludge output. And then on the sower over here, you only need 2 connections, power and an input for whatever seeds or crops you want to grow. So now that we've got a wheat production facility, we need to work on animal husbandry. We've got to take some, I think we're going to use cows, and we need to get a pen over here with some more cows in addition to our pen up here. We need to put a couple of parent cows in there, have them fed automatically some wheat, then make it a babies, have the babies sorted out, wait for them to grow up, and then once they grow up, send them into a killing chamber to be murdificated for that delicious pink slime that we need so bad. So sorry, but you guys, y'all are gonna feel some sting. So I've got some work to do. I've got to level out, cut down some trees, level out some land, build some pens, and get it all figured out. Get the wheat sent over there, and we're going to have to build some machines. We want to do the animal husbandry, so we're going to need potentially an animal feeder. Though I may have another way to do this. I'm going to look at some options. Not super expensive, just some dye, do need golden apples and golden carrots. We need I believe it's this one, the slaughter factory, which, if I remember right, is the one that gives us the sludge. There's 2 different mob killers in this pack. One of them kills them as if a player, so you get the items. One will liquefy the meat and give you the pink slime, which is what we want out of this system. So we'll need one of those. And the animal feeder, yeah, here's the other one. So it's one of these 2. It's the slaughter factory or the crusher. I think it's the slaughter factory I'm looking for. And that should be it. We need a separator. We have the baby separator, which is, here's that sewage composter. We'll need this because there will be sewage. We'll be able to put in some sewers and make some sewage. Here's our baby separator. That's what we're looking for. Also relatively inexpensive. Just some plastic, some dye. Got another pity machine frame. We need a bunch of those. So that'll help sort the adults from the babies. So let me get to work on laying it out, getting some things crafted over here on the side. I did change up our farm a little bit since we now have a huge wheat farm over there. I didn't want a huge wheat farm over here as well. So we put some carrots, some beets, some potatoes, some netherwort, and some hemp over here just to grow something, a little bit different. But yeah, let me get this set up. I think, like I said, I'm going to put it right in here. We'll do a little terraforming, knock down some trees and such, and get it built out. work has been done. Let's give you an update. We've got a animal feeder right here with pipes going under the ground as usual. You can see it is full of wheats, which we're getting from our wheat farm over here, which is vastly overproducing what we can do. So we made it a little bit too big, but that's okay because I made 2 more pens over here we can use for other things. And we'll talk about that later, but got some cows in here and use the feeder to feed them, to breed them, and just waiting on that little guy to grow up before we start processing. And if Bossy here will get off there, I've got a sewer right in the middle of the floor with a tier 2 upgrade, and that reaches, as you can see, the entirety of the pen here. And that is collecting sewage from the poo-poos. And this also has a tier 2 upgrade. Basically everything in this section, which is a 5x5 on the inside, is using a tier 2 upgrade. We've got a baby separator, and it is pulling the babies. And also, again, tier 2 with the range upgrade, and it's going to grab the babies. I've got it turned off right now, but once we get this little guy grown up, then we'll start breeding for realsies, and the babies will be sucked over here. Now, same deal. We got a little sewer in here. Now, this guy only has a tier 1 upgrade, which allows it to grab this 3x3 space, and there's just going to be babies in here, so not a big deal. We don't need a whole bunch of space. Once the babies grow up, we got this guy here, which is now moving the adults instead of the babies. Remember, over here, we're moving the babies. Over here, we're actually moving the adults, and it also has that tier 1 upgrade, so it covers the entirety of this space. Once that happens, the adults will go into this pen right here. Now, underneath this block is the mob slaughter factory, and it is, well, it only has it has no upgrade, so it's only grabbing this little box right there. Cows are 2, so that should be no problem for it to catch that guy. The only thing I'm not sure about is maybe they poke out over here, but I don't think that's going to happen. We'll see. We'll see once we get some... Oop. Everybody's growed up, so we can start the show. Let's see, redstone mode ignored, should be feeding. Oh, make it a hearts, make it a hearts, make it a babies. Everybody get frisky. And I've been getting a bunch of these little spirit of birthing. That's new, I hadn't seen that before. What you can do is take this and turn it into mobs. So with Phantom Membrane, you can create a phantom, endermites, you know, all sort of things, ghasts. So that should be fun to play with later. But I may have to put a little deal out here to pick those up. Now we need to turn this guy on to suck the babies out. And it should grab the babies. There we go, grab the babies. Pull them over here. Once they grow up to the adults, grab the adults, move them over here and killerate them. So we just have to wait a little while for the babies to grow up. Now looking at under here at the works I've got so far, I don't have these pipes going. One of these will be pink slime, and one of them will be meat. Meat slurry. I guess we sell to McDonald's. I don't know. We'll do, obviously we're looking for the pink slime. We'll do something with the meat. I haven't decided what yet. So we got the poo-poos coming in here. You just saw it flush the poo-poo down the line. There is our baby separator, and there is a baby separator. They just need power, don't need anything special. Here's another poo-poo machine. You see it is sucking up the poo-poos, and we're shoving that into a sewage composter. The poo-poos then being turned into fertilizer, which we are going to shove back over this way to our plant farm, and it is going to be used to fertilize the farm, make it grow even faster. As you can see, my sludge is backed up. I'm going to have to start processing that sooner rather than later. And you can see this pipe right here is just grabbing this wheat, and you'll be able to see the wheats come down the line and head into the animal feeder right there. So we've got almost a self-sufficient system, getting pretty close. Got a little bit more pipage to do. So we're still waiting on those babies to grow up. But we should be pretty good to go here in just a little bit. Now you may be saying, Obelix, how do you got podzol? You don't have no silk touch. You are correct in that. I do not have silk touch. However, I am making it. So it's actually really easy to make. Since I've got so many Zelkovia saplings, I'm just taking those guys and we drop them into the crucificator right here. Boom. That turns into biofuel, like a so. Mix that with a little bit of dirt in our metallurgic infuser, because it makes all the sense in the world. And I did not actually pick up any dirt. That's fine. So we'll just drop that in there like so. And we'll go over to our dank and grab just a stack of dirt. It'll be fine. Pop that in there. So it's turning, it takes 2 biomass and that will turn into, using 1 dirt, will turn into podzol. So we're just making it super easy like so. Okay, to make the plant fertilizer requires a little different process than we've done before, though not wildly different. We're going to have to use the dissolution chamber to make this here machine because we need a fancier frame than the pity frame. We actually have to turn the pity frame along with these other bits here, and a little bit of latex. We're going to turn it into a better frame. And there we go. We got the simple machine frame, which we will come over here. And you see this guy requires a simple machine frame. And now we have the plant fertilizer. Now we're also going to need the full tier upgrade for this guy as well, because it's got to cover the entirety of the crop farm. And just like that, we have plant fertilization. So we got this guy some power. We popped him in. We put his rain or tier 12 upgrade in, and we're feeding him the poo-poos. The hardened poo-poos? I don't know. So we just connected up a pipe to the top of the sewage composter here. Actually, probably should have put that on the other side, but it's fine. It's fine. And you see the little poo-poos march down the line and go up into the machine up here. Perfectamundo. Oh, look at all the babies. All right, y'all need to hurry up and grow up so I can kill you. All right, some big guys have made it in. We're just waiting on the mob killificator to killificate. And he's gone. just gone. No drama, no nothing, just gone. So as you can see, we're here under the mob slaughter factory. As you can see, we have liquid meat and pink slime. So don't much care for this, but this is what we're looking for. Dropped a new machine in right here. We've got a cyclic item collector and just set it to 13 by 13, which you can see covers the gambit at least of these 2 bays right here, and it even goes a little bit further. We don't necessarily need it to go further, but that's fine. It'll be fine. And what this guy is doing is collecting those little heart dealios, just because it does seem to be producing quite a bit of them. So the spirit of birthing. So we just got those growing and going into a drawer down here. Okay, got us a quick sludge refiner. That is going to help us take care of our sludge overflow problem. And let's see, I think we will just place him right next to this guy, like so. And let's just do a pipe between the 2. Boom and a bam. So he's filled up. We need to get him some go-go juice, which we can pull from up here. Like so. Now he's going to turn the sludge into various items. So you see we get clay and all various manner of other things. Honestly, don't care much for these items, but I do care to get rid of the sludge. We could just put it into a trash can, but if we can get free items, we might as well get free items, right? So I'll just put some storage drawers here with a controller and let this guy feed into those and call it gravy. All right, so in this pack, there's only 6 items we can get from the sludge refiner. We've got red sand, sand, gravel, soul sand, dirt, and clay, all useful. So we're going to go ahead and put a gold upgrade in each of those drawers, and we're going to go ahead and put a void upgrade on each of those drawers. What that's going to do is, if these drawers fill up, it will just start disposing of the items so that they're not backing things up and causing, this to break down because the sludge backed up. All right, and this is what all this was for. Boom. Bucket of pink slime. Nice. So now I can take our pink slime and just dump him in like so. There we go. And like I said, we're trying to make the material stonework factory. That is going to require an advanced machine frame. But first, we need to make this here slime ball, which means we need 1/3 of what we have and of pink slime and a glass pane. Weirdest recipe ever. All right, we got our 3 pink slime balls. Let's take those over here, drop them into the system. We got to make this advanced machine frame, which is even higher than the one we just made a minute ago, because we need the one we needed a minute ago to make that one, and it requires netherite and diamonds. Ain't this grand? All right, so let's do this. And we're going to need some gold and netherites. Oh, we need to make this first. Jeez Louise. All right, so let's set you out of the way, because we got to make the simple machine frame. So we need plastic, nether, brick, iron, and a gold gear. All right, went and grabbed our pink slime container and emptied the machine. We now got some latex in it, so we should be able to put all of this stuff in properly. Boom, bam, boom, bam, boom. There we go. Boom, simple machine frame. Okay, now that's going to be the basis for the next machine frame, which is the advanced. So we need plastic, netherite, gold, and diamond. Get our bucket. There we go. Put that in. Drop that. Do that. Man, I hate to waste netherite scraps, but this machine is going to do us a lot of good, so it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. There we go. Advanced machine frame. And now we're missing 2 more gold gears. And a diamond pickaxe. Expensive recipe. And a basic crafting table. Material stonework factory. Holy crappers. That was a long road. But we now have it. So this guy produces resources for you. And you can decide what it makes based on what you do over here and what you feed it. So if you want to make netherrack, you feed it water and lava. Obsidian's water and lava. Granite's water and lava. It just tells you how much. But notice this lets us make diorite and andesite. This is something we've been needing that we have that does not seem to naturally spawn in the world. Andesite and diorite do not seem to spawn. Granite does. We get that everywhere. At the very least, it doesn't spawn in this biome or any of the surrounding biomes where I've been digging. So this is going to allow us to make that. All right, so I fed him a bucket of lava and a bucket of water, and you can see this is it's making cobblestone, which it's then cooking into smooth stone, which is then, or cooking into stone, then cooking again into smooth stone because we have the furnaces selected. Let's actually switch over to diorite. So you see now we're making diorite, which is cooking into dolomite, which I don't actually want it to do. So let's just say stop. Or we can make andesite. Oh, hallelujah. Look at that. Finally, Obelix gets a little bit of andesite. All right, everybody. That was a long road to hoe, but we got there. got it done. Got a ton of industrial foregoing done today. Sure do appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me as always. And until next time, y'all get out there, make some noise. See ya.
It goes up.